In today's episode, the Austin A55 Cambridge. Hello, welcome to Quartzlight, your car brochure channel here on YouTube, where we look at car brochures from around the world for the 60s, 70s, 80s and 1990s, and we sometimes go beyond those years as well. So if you think that might interest you and you're a new viewer, then please do consider subscribing. There are over 700 videos on the channel now. Anyway, back to today's show. Yes, we're looking at the Austin A55 MkII Cambridge. So we're certainly going back some time now. This is an early one. So let's take our camera and just turn it around and have a look at today's brochure. So here is today's brochure. Don't worry, I will zoom in a little bit better in a moment, but it says at the top there, Austin looks years ahead with the new A55 Cambridge. And of course, we've looked at these Farina models before with the sister models. We've looked at the Oxford, of course, on the channel. This is from 61, and the Traveller from 63. So we have looked at quite a few of these Farina models. We've also looked at the 404. Very recently, we looked at the 404 truck. Now here is a bit earlier though, so this is the A55 Cambridge Mark II. Those Oxford models were more in line with the later A60 Cambridge, when it had sort of a curved off fin. Here we've got the full fin on these Cambridge models. Essentially the first Farina model. Because of its Pininfarina design. It was produced between 59 and 61, so only a small run before the A60 version came out. So this is quite an early brochure, and because it's saying the new A55 Cambridge and that there isn't any date on this brochure, we're going to presume this is from 1959, so pretty early on for Quartzlight, because like I say, we usually do 1960, 1970, 1980, 1990, although regulars will know we do sometimes venture into the 50s as well. Very much like the early 60s, 50s brochures, everything is a drawn image, and I quite like that. And it's certainly, the images are certainly of a simpler time. You always get these unusual characters as well on these earlier brochures. A very 60s imagery, isn't it? Dad there with his driving gloves on, hiding the key. Mum peeking and realising the key is there, even though it's obvious that the car is there. And then presumably their son, although you always find that these sort of mum and dad figures look like they're in the 70s. But anyway, son there getting way too close to the new car. Anyway, but then we've got the 55 Cambridge to one side in grey, and it looks like green top. It has got quite nice little drawings actually of the colours, so we'll certainly come to that in a moment. The other thing about these 50s and 60s brochures, instead of opening in the normal way, which you would expect a brochure to open like this, they kind of like open again in more of a poster style. So they are a little bit different in that way, but I'm just going to move the camera, set that up a little bit better, and then we'll have a look at this model. So yeah, when you open these brochures up, you can certainly see straight away it's a very long brochure. The top here, it says new Swift line, new uncrowded comfort, and you can certainly see on these 55 Cambridges they've still got a huge fin on the back. Like I said, when the 60s came, they had sort of like a curved fin on the A60 Cambridges. This is a single colour car by the looks of it. We'll certainly zoom in again on that car in a moment, but let's read this text first. So when I move to the text, you can certainly see on this particular page, text is tiny on these particular pages, and sort of very long as well, so it's very hard to set the camera up to read that. So I would very much doubt you'll be able to read that, but I'll certainly read it for you. It says the eye travels easily over the new swift line of the latest Austin A55 Cambridge. Graceful indeed and styled to meet every need of today's discerning motorist by master artist and technician Pininfarina. Every consideration has been given to the personal comfort and safety of the occupants of this, the third in the line of Cambridge saloons. The body is of all steel unitary construction, designed to provide maximum strength without excess weight. All doors are dust and draft proof, and the wraparound windscreen and rear and side windows, all of safety glass, are set in stainless surrounds which form an attractive and integral part of the general design. And take a look at those sturdy chrome bumpers. Closely following the contours of the body, they are brought well round to give maximum protection to the coachwork. Handsome and stylish, the Austin A55 Cambridge is also available as a deluxe saloon, additional to its specification being heater, optional for export, windscreen washer, bumper overriders, rear door armrests, leather seat contact surfaces, 2 sun visors and 2 matched wind-tone horns. Several items are available at extra cost for both the basic and deluxe saloons, including electric clock, radio and heater on the base models. These accessories being especially designed to blend neatly into the cleanly styled fascia. Particular attention has also been given to the requirements of certain export markets, whereby alternative production variations have been made in order to conform with numerous specific regulations. Mechanically, all the well-tried and proven assemblies of its predecessors, have been retained, but modifications have been made to improve performance still further. The outstanding B-Series BMC overhead valve power unit, now developing 53 bhp at 4,350 RPM. It is certain that wherever the new A55 is seen, tribute will be paid to the ingenuity, modern design and vast engineering resources of the mighty British Motor Corporation. Apologies, it is quite small writing, quite hard to see, but let's move to the car now. So just zooming in on the front end there. Front end I always really liked. I always loved this sort of chrome around the headlights and these big overriders on there. Overriders, so it must mean that this is the deluxe example. Moving the camera back, we see all that bright work around the windows, which I also really loved as well, and of course quarter lights. And incidentally, my love for quarter lights came from the Morris Oxford actually, which my dad had. Overall, I really like the styling. I love these huge wings, sorry, not wings, fins on the back there with those interesting lights, and this sort of interesting area here where we'll certainly see later on you can have an option for a two-tone, and that kind of like incorporated that little design. But we can see this is a single colour car in this example, and then here is the family doing some kind of hiking type pursuit, although the children's footwear don't look suitable for that, and certainly the mother's doesn't. Anyway, let's turn the page. So like I said, this does open into like a brochure style, so if I open this up, first we get sort of the cars at the top. They're different colours as well. It's going to show you the colours here rather nicely. The engine, the interior, but this does actually fold down as well to give you a lovely big image, and more down here as well. Obviously that's going to be hard to get all on one page, so what I'll do, I'll start up here Obviously we have to reset up the camera, and then we'll work our way down, and then we'll come back to this interior image. So yes, at the top here, the colours, or some of the colours, we can see going around the edge, and then we've got a little bit of a text in the middle, and then the list of colours. Let's look at this first, and then we'll come around these different colours here. So it starts by saying colour and beauty from every point of view, and then this small writing tells us choose from the magnificent range of exterior and interior trim colours. You can be sure of the hard wearing qualities of the gloss enamel finish on the Cambridge saloon. For every body shell undergoes 31 preparatory processes, including rust preventing, degreasing, etc., before the first coat of true colour is applied. At slight extra cost, dual tone paint exteriors are available, together with interiors in vinyl treated fabric and leather or Duracore. These, together with the standard range of single colour finishes, are set out below. So let's have a look at the table. Okay, then going to the box, then it kind of like gives you an idea of the colours you could choose, starting with the single tone colours of Farina Grey, Grampian Grey, Sutherland Green, Ocean Blue, Orchid or Black, and then the dual tone colours of Farina Grey and Horizon Blue, Farina Grey and Tartan Red, Farina Grey and Black, Farina Grey and Orchid, Orchid and Black, and then it starts talking about the different seats, you know, whether you get leather, vinyl treated fabric, etc. But the images are interesting and really show you a lot better. So I really do love how they've set this out. So this is an example of Black and Farina Grey, but it also shows the fabric underneath the car. I think is a nice idea. I've not seen that too many times before. So then with Farina Grey and tan trim, I think certainly that would have been a very classy combination. So the next colour is a single colour example of Sutherland Green, with the steel grey trim shown underneath it. Possibly if I was going for a single colour, this may well have been it. I think this is possibly my favourite example, and the main image is in this colour as well, so we'll certainly have a look at that in a moment. But Tartan Red and Farina Grey with Tartan Red and Farina Grey trim. I do love that one, and like I say, we'll come back to that in a moment. Here again we've got another example of a single colour car, and another really nice choice of Ocean Blue and Steel Grey trim. And then we got another two-tone colour of Farina Grey and Orchid Grey Duracore trim. But like I said, we'll go back to that red one, because so it does show that Tartan Red and Farina Grey two-tone colours, or duotone, or however you want to call them. But I think that's my favourite combination. It's really very striking. Maybe it was a bit too bold for the 50s. I'm not sure. I'm sure everyone wouldn't have chosen that, but I do really like that colour combination. It really does stand out, and particularly the matching red and grey seats, like it described as well. I really like that combination, and you can certainly see how this little bit of a line kind of like matches with that colour, as in, you know, they fill that in with that second colour. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that one, and I've kind of like missed a bit to come to this, but I do particularly like that colour combination. Anyway, let's move back a little bit, because on the top right hand corner there it starts talking about some of the mechanicals, and we certainly can't miss that. Let's go to the text for the engine first. So right at the top here it's telling us the B series BMC power unit is a compact overhead valve design of 1489cc capacity, which develops 53 bhp at 4,350 rpm. For home market requirements, a paper element air filter is fitted to the carburetor when installed in the car. But for more rigorous export regulations, particularly in dusty tropical climates, an oil bath air cleaner is supplied. A further factor in promoting long, trouble-free service is the quickly replaceable full floor oil filter. These are but a few highlights of the power unit, which is acclaimed throughout the world as an extra lively performer with exceptional low fuel consumption. And then we got a really beautifully drawn image of the engine. I mean, that's quite talented to draw that particular engine, and certainly a shout out to the artists of the time who are never named. Suspension and brakes. Road holding of the A55 is first class due to the independent front suspension. The long, resilient coil springs are controlled by hydraulic shock absorbers, which are incorporated as the top link of each unit. Long semi-elliptic leaf springs at the rear are also fitted with shock absorbers, which contribute greatly to stability on the road. Large diameter hydraulic brakes with 2 leading shoe action on the front wheels inspire confidence because of their immediate and positive operation. And then to go with it, another really beautifully drawn image, this time of the suspension and brakes. So working our way down to the bottom of the brochure now, starts talking about some of the key features: door handle, ashtray, pendant pedals and fascia. So let's work our way around here. Firstly, door handle. Push button handles are fitted to all doors, and an additional safety catch in the lock mechanism ensures that little fingers are well out of mischief. Once set in the safety position, the door locks can only be operated by the outside handle. Ashtray. Flush fitting ashtrays are provided for the rear passengers in the back of each front seat squab. For front seat occupants, an ashtray is included in the centre of the fascia top. Pendant pedals. Pendant pedals for the hydraulic operation of clutch and brakes, together with the accelerator pedal, are conveniently positioned and ensure freedom from drafts. And that beautiful, very simple fascia. We'll read the text first though. I was trying to set it out for it being more readable, but forgetting it's very tiny writing, so I'll certainly read it out anyway. So fascia, here again, up to the minute styling has produced an extremely pleasant fascia, carrying the control switches and instruments which tell you all that is needed when driving the Cambridge. On the passenger side is the enclosed glove box, and beneath is a map or parcel shelf. The top of the fascia is trimmed in black vinyl treated fabric to reduce windscreen reflections, and a foam rubber roll runs along the length of the front edge. Centre floor or steering column gear change can be fitted as required, providing a choice is made when ordering the car. Okay, so we can have column shift or floor shift on these. Let's just move a little bit further. Very simple controls, aren't they, on this sort of like a metal fascia, really showing you the times. And well, we certainly saw on the later Oxfords we had sort of like a horn ring. This is a much more simpler affair at this time. The dials almost look too small, don't they? But I guess that's just how it's set out in that metal panel. This one's showing the optional radio and optional clocking, isn't it? There, so this is a well kitted out model, which certainly by today's standard is quite hard to believe. And then on the bottom right of this sheet we can see some more features: luggage boot, spare wheel carrier and wide opening rear door. So let's have a look at that now. First of all, luggage boot. So the massive rear compartment holds 19 cubic feet of luggage on its low loading platform. It has a locking counterbalance lid which, when open, forms excellent cover for the contents of the boot even in wet weather, the rain falling harmlessly into surrounding water channels. The number plate lamp on the boot also illuminates the boot interior when open. Also gives you a little bit of a nice look at those fins. Spare wheel carrier. The spare wheel is carried in a separate wind down tray beneath the luggage compartment. The mechanism in the floor is operated by the starting handle, which also serves to operate the side lifting jack supplied in the toolkit, and there it is, winding it down to reveal that spare wheel. Looks like it's like in a protective cover, which is nice, so protects it from some of the elements. And then the wide opening rear door. All doors open wide for free accessibility into the interior, and the locking mechanism of the front door is such that it is impossible to lock oneself out of the car when the key is left in the ignition switch. The combined rear stop lamps and direction indicators are right where they are needed at eye level to following traffic. And there it is. And we'll look at that nice fin and those lovely door cards. And there we go, we fold the brochure back, and then we get to that interior image, which is a lovely drawn image. Very talented whoever did that. We'll read the text first and we'll have a look at this. Large, spacious interior, it tells us. The clean, stylish lines of the exterior have been successfully applied inside the A55 Cambridge saloon. Wind down windows and swivelling ventilating louvers are fitted in each door, the doors being hung on concealed hinges at their forward edges. All controls have been positioned within easy reach, and from the driver's seat all four corners of the car are visible. The deep side windows, wraparound windscreen and rear window accentuate the spaciousness of the interior, all frames and supports being as slender as possible to give maximum all-round vision. The entire trim, including headlining, is completed in vinyl treated fabric, although on the deluxe saloons rear seat contact surfaces have best quality English hide panels. Each half of the divided bench type front seat is independently adjustable and is cushioned with soft latex foam rubber. The squabs are upholstered with rubberized hair, and an ashtray is included in the back of each. Deep, luxurious comfort is completed for up to 5 people by the wide rear seat, which has sprung cases for cushion and squab, upholstered and moulded to give correct support to the back. Behind is a wide parcel shelf. An interior lamp positioned above the centre pillar also acts as a courtesy light, being controlled by the opening and closing of the front doors. In deluxe saloons, carpets are fitted over the entire floor, but in normal saloons a moulded rubber mat covers the front section of the floor. The whole of the passenger compartment falls well within the wheelbase, ensuring continuous riding comfort over the longest distance. And yes, then back to that lovely drawn image. Let's zoom in a bit further though. Gives you a lovely glimpse inside, doesn't it? And a bit more of a better look at that dashboard from a different angle, although you will notice this is a left-hand drive. We can see the quarter lights and how those doors are in this sort of a light blue colour in this example, and the white and blue of the seats. Really nice imagery. And then if we go to the bottom here, looks like this is the drawing of the deluxe example. Of course, looks like more like carpet rather than just a rubberized mat. And then we fold the brochure all the way back again, and then that gives us the specifications. As we know, of course, the older the brochure, the more detailed specifications. So we'll go through this, pick of course the key points out. This is all the dimensions. I'll probably just cast the camera over those, though it's a bit hard to show all the dimensions on camera. Of course, got to show that lovely little BMC ribbon on there. So tiny little writing again. I've had to zoom in a long way. Unfortunately, zooming in a long way means half of it's missing, but we'll work that out as we go. But engine inline water-cooled OHV 4-cylinder, 3-bearing counterbalanced crankshaft, bore, stroke and capacity 1489 cc, maximum bhp 53, 55 bhp gross at 4350 rpm. It also shows the maximum torque and compression ratio. So fuel system is SU carburetor, SU electric fuel pump, paper element air cleaner, petrol tank capacity is 10 gallons, and then the lubrication system, full pressure with wet sump, internal gear type pump forces oil to all working parts. Full flow external oil filter goes in sump capacity approximately 7 pints plus 1¼ pint for the filter. Ignition system is 12 volt coil and distributor with automatic and vacuum control. And then of course there are sort of dimension images that they do, but like I say, really too small to really show you in great detail on camera. Takes us to the cooling system, pressurized radiator with pump, fan and thermostat, capacity approximately 11½ pints plus 1 pint for the heater. Chassis, transmission, clutch single plate 8-inch diameter, hydraulic operation. Gearbox is a 4-speed with synchromesh on second, third and top, so no synchromesh on first. Not unusual for the time though, of course. Change speed lever, central on floor or optional on steering column, and then it goes through all the gear ratios and then tells us single piece open propeller shaft with needle roller, universal joints, rear axle with a 3/4 floating hypoid bevel crown wheel, and pinion. Tells you about the rear axle ratio, oil capacity approximately 2½ pints, overall gear ratios, and then it tells you those overall gear ratios. But I do apologise for moving the camera around. Like I say, it's a hard one to really film, this one, and I want to give you as much detail as possible. That then takes us to the steering, which is a high efficiency cam and peg. Tells you the ratio for that. 2-spoke 17-inch diameter dished safety steering wheel. Also tells you the turning circle of 37 feet. Suspension front independent with wishbones, coil springs and shock absorbers. Rear semi-elliptic. Leaf springs with plastic separators, rubber mounted to axle. Front and rear hydraulic lever type shock absorbers. Track at front just over 4 feet. Track at rear 4 feet 1 and a bit, or 1.27 meters. Funny little details. Really, like I say, the older brochures go into crazy amounts of detail. Goes on to the brakes. Foot 4-wheel hydraulic operated by pendant pedal. 2 leading shoe at front. Hand pull up lever on driver's side, acting mechanically through compensator on rear wheel only. It shows the dimensions. Road wheels, pressed steel disc for stud fixing with tubeless tyres. Then it moves to the electrical. So it's a 12 volt system, as we learnt. 38 amp hour battery at 10 hour rate. 43 amp hour 20 hour rate. Built-in 7-inch cowled headlamps with double filament bulbs and dipping arrangements to suit different countries. Foot operated dip switch, side lamps mounted in front grille, twin red stop and tail lamps in unit with reflectors. Rear lamp on bumper below number plate illuminates boot interior when open. Interior lamp on door pillar, operated either manually or by courtesy switches on both front doors. Self-cancelling amber flashing direction indicators switch on steering column with warning lights. Flashers at front separate from side lamps. At rear in stop tail unit, twin electrical self-parking windscreen wipers. Concealed instrument illumination lamps with switch, ignition and starter switch combined. So that moves us to the instruments. So group comprising a speedometer with trip and mileage recorder, thermometer for radiator, oil pressure gauge and petrol gauge, warning lamps to indicate no dynamo charge, and headlamps, high beam position. And the coachwork, 4 or 5 seater, 4 door, 4 light saloon of unitary construction with fully stressed skin. The fascia panel is of painted steel with trimmed vinyl treated fabric top surface and crash pad. Ashtray recessed in top surface. Instruments placed in front of driver. Glove box in passenger side and parcel tray underneath. Front seats of split bench type, adjustable, foam rubber foundations for cushions, squabs of rubberized hair. Ashtrays fitted to both front seats. Rear seats have spring case and 4 winding windows with ventilating louvers, all of toughened glass with stainless surrounds. Doors have concealed hinges at leading edge, push button outside handles, both front doors lockable from outside but arranged in such that it is impossible to lock the car should the keys be left inside. Children's safety locks fitted to all doors, curved wraparound windscreen and rear light of toughened glass with stainless surrounds over rubber mountings. Luggage boot of large capacity with spring balanced lid and locking handle. Floor covered in vinyl treated felt. Spur wheel carried in tray below boot. Lowered by means of starting handle. Bonnet is locked from inside car. Safety catch and telescopic stay fitted. All floor covering has felt underlay. Interior rear view tinted mirror. Fresh air circulating system with no heater is fitted. Chromium plated bumpers front and rear. Approximate weight is a 21 CWT or 1067 kilograms. It then tells you what the basic model has. So single sun visor, rubber mat on floor in front, carpet in rear, seats trimmed with vinyl treated fabric, single low note wing tone horn. Optional extras are a radio, heater and demister, windscreen washers, electric clock and duotone paintwork. However, the deluxe model comes standard with heater and demisters, 2 sun visors, fitted carpet on floor or rubber in front if preferred, contact surfaces of seat trimmed in good quality real hide, twin wind tone horns, windscreen washer and bumper overriders. Optional extras, radio, electric clock and that duotone paintwork. Then talks about the export markets, alternative equipment at no extra cost, right or left hand steering, high or low compression engine, kph or mph speedometer, lighting and flashing equipment to suit any regulation, single piece bench seat with steering column gear change only, front rubber mats on deluxe models, and then the optional equipment at extra cost, laminated windscreen, radio, electric clock, duotone paintwork, heater and demister. Small print of course is the usual thing, we can change things at any time. And at the bottom here, the Austin Motor Company Limited, Longbridge, Birmingham, Austin Motor Export Corporation Limited, Longbridge, Birmingham, England, The publication number is 1745D, and of course printed in England. So there you go, what a lovely little brochure this is. Really detailed specifications, aren't they? So therefore time is really moving on, so we should wrap this on pretty quickly, but certainly share your memories of this lovely car, and we'll end with a final look at this lovely front cover, and really a shout out to the artist, some lovely images within there. If you've not done already, please do consider subscribing. It is all completely free. I'll add a couple more boxes with other videos you might want to see. I'll probably include one of the Oxford brochures in there in case you missed it, but thank you so much for watching today. Please do take care. We'll see you again very soon. All the best and goodbye.